Hi, my name is Belinda Pecci, and this is my presentation on AI as a friend or assistant, the mediating role of perceived usefulness in social AI versus functional AI. So, the purpose of this study is to compare social and functional AI and people's perception of them. Many people have not been heavily exposed to AI as more than just a functional tool, so the authors wanted to make it known that it is possible for AI to enhance people's lives socially. The hypothesis of this study is as follows. This study investigates how individuals would respond to AI that serves different primary roles, social versus functional. The study also explores the underlying mechanism that explains why people may perceive AI differently depending on its roles through the mediation effect of perceived usefulness of AI. The authors of this study tested this hypothesis on a group of 196 volunteers. The volunteers were split into two groups, which included one group that was to observe AI as a social tool, and another group that was to observe AI as a functional tool. The volunteers watched movie clips from the movie Her, each group watching a different version. The social group watched clips that were a robot in the movie that was the main character's best friend, where they would do things like walk on the beach that real best friends would do. The functional group watched the main character interact with AI as a tool that could help with things like writing emails. The volunteers were questioned on their opinions on functional AI versus social AI. The authors tested to weigh the opinions of the volunteers afterward by asking a series of questions using an array of analysis covariance with a standard 95% confidence interval to determine the perceived usefulness of AI each group had had. The major findings of this study were that overall, participants preferred AI as a functional tool rather than a social tool. People tend to already have their social needs fulfilled, therefore, they don't view AI as something that would enhance their lives and bring them social satisfaction. Overall, the group that watched the clips of the movie that showed AI as a social tool had a lower perceived usefulness than the group that watched AI as a functional tool, but still preferred functional AI over social AI. Still, overall, the main consensus was that people prefer AI as a function that can help with everyday tasks. Again, their social needs fulfilled already. Many have social needs fulfilled already through friends and family, so there's not much of a need for AI to fill that void. But on the functional side, who doesn't want to make tasks like writing a book or sending an email easier if possible through using AI? As far as reliability goes, there were a few limitations within this study. The first being that most of the subjects were female. It is also important to note that the volunteers were undergraduate students. Therefore, if a different age group had been a part of the study, the results could have been very different considering the generational bias for current undergraduates of growing up in a technology-filled world. An older group might have had a less positive view on the AI overall. Another limitation was that the study was strictly focusing on only voice AI for the functional studies. For example, AI vary and come in multiple forms. For example, it could just be Siri, or it could be a physical embodiment of a robot, like in the movie. The last limitation was that there was no direct interaction with actual AI. All the participants did was watch the movie clips so they did not get the chance to really test out AI socially and functionally and see which is preferable. Overall, this study is reliable and accurate. There were only a few minor limitations that would not make much of a difference in this study if this study was done with a more diverse group. Additionally, all of the numbers given in the analysis add up and make sense. Kling defines social informatics as the interdisciplinary study of design, uses, and consequences of information technologies that takes into account their interaction with institutional and cultural contexts. Furthermore, this studies observing the human interaction with AI. This applies to Kling's definition of what social informatics is because it is directly looking at the uses of AI. Additionally, the consequences can also be seen, though they are not weighed in the hypothesis. It is something that was definitely sparked in my mind while I was reading the journal. Kling would agree that this promotes reasons to research in the field of social informatics because that's simply what this hypothesis is doing. Though it is a hypothesis test to see which type of AI people prefer, it is still analyzing a technology and the impact that it has on people.